Good afternoon, floorball fans, and welcome back to day 2 of Floorball Canada's national tournament. This afternoon's 3 o'clock game is Team BC, who's undefeated, versus Team Quebec, who has yet to put a W up on the board. This game may be a do-nothing burger in some people's books, but it matters for Team BC as they can increase their lead in the standings and guarantee that final spot as first place. Team BC wearing the green going from right to left, and Team Quebec in the red going from left to right. The big five starting for Team BC, and Strohs wins the face-off against Olivier. Strohs alone down in the corner, throws it to nobody. Prudick with the spin on Oliveira, puts it into the feet of Perre. Kiron picks it up, comes down. Oh, off the crossbar for Oliveira. And Team Quebec almost had the early lead. Roman with an entire, going into game 2 of the day here, has a shutout streak going, technically speaking. Skoda to Bennett. Bennett looking for an opening. He goes long to one of the Wilkinsons. His shot is blocked. Lepore tries to kick it ahead. Oliveira somehow comes away with it. And it hits the post again. Almost in the exact same spot. Dupont. Shot and scored! 50 seconds in. From the far side, beats Roman between the hand and the leg. If this is looking weird for all of you too, it is for me, as both of these teams have spent the previous 2 games on starting on opposite sides. Referees are Mitch Brush and Jay Sunny. Mitch giving some instructions at the face-off here. He didn't like how we were lining up. And that is shot out by Pizchek, aiming for Hughes. Laporte over to Carriere. He whiffs. Laporte ends up with it in the corner here. Given away to Wilkinson, who fires that wide. Team Ontario not happy with the current score on the board. Perron. Wide to Dupont. Dupont. Stopped by Mata. Cadagil into the corner. Wilkinson. Watched by Rivet. That could be a battle we need to keep an eye on. Dupont working the corner with Mata. Corner board comes loose. And a free hit for Team Quebec, says referee Jay Sani. So I don't think anybody knows. Oh, there we go. The BC Big Five are back out on the floor. Paul Minkers to take the free hit. He goes behind the net to Godin, but it ends up going out off Bullhart. Free hit for Team Quebec taken by Wright. Bernard back to Wright. Wright tries to go in front. Bullhart blocks that. Wright in front again, also blocked by Prudick. Wright throws it into the middle, but no one's there. Ulrich directs it back towards Bernard. Bernard takes the shot, and it's wide. Bullhart double teams. He gives it to Prudick, who goes cross to Ulrich. Back to Bullhart. Bullhart, being watched closely by 2 Quebec forwards, finds Seidelman on the far side. Seidelman into the middle, stopped by Frankman. Seidelman across, he finds Ulrich, but Ulrich can't get the shot off. Bernard. That's put in by Prudick. Frankman again, over to Bernard. He's pressured by Strohs. It's turned over to Seidelman. Strohs to Seidelman. He goes behind the net to Ulrich, who's challenged by Wright. It's in front with Straws, but he can't handle it. Bullhart back. He gives it to Prudek. Given to Strohs, and Landry with the save. Strohs all over Frankman. Gets the push violation. Abbas to Curion. Curion tries to go through 3 BC defenders. Gets stopped by Skoda, but earns the free hit. Abbas gives it to Oliveira, stopped by Shagir. Now he's being chased by Wilkinson. He gives it back to Frankman, but not 100%. Oliveira now up through the middle. Curion or Pear trying to get it through Gabert. Oliveira walks away with it. Skoda knocks it away. Abbas, last man back, being chased by Shagir. He gives it to his partner Frankman. Frankman up to Pear. Pear over to Oliveira. The shot, save made by Roman, and we have a high stick penalty. Even I knew that was one. My hand went up. Called by both referees, and Pear is very much aware of what he just did. So, 9:35 is the get out of jail free time if Quebec manages to go unsaved during this BC power play, which we've only seen once, I believe, if I'm remembering correctly. And once again, they go out with this second line here with Mata and Pizchek on the back end. Stolen by DuPont. He's all alone. It's lost in Wilkinson's feet. DuPont and him get tied up. And DuPont is called. He receives a penalty, and we're going to have some 4-on-4 floorball here. Mitch Brush reports for duty. Oh, sorry, not 4-on-4, 5-on-3. As 2 Quebec players are in the penalty box. Frank Julien with the Quebecois announcement. Jay Sani explaining the ruling to the offending parties as DuPont and Pear sit in the box. Penalties only 19 seconds apart. And the first line of the Big Five for BC are on the floor for this 5-on-3 power play. Prudek circles into the middle. He drops it back for Bullhart. He puts it into the middle. It ends up with the top with Prudek. Rivet quarterbacking this Quebec PK from up top. Prudek back to Bullhart. To Strauss. All the way across to Prudek. Great stick by Lepore. Back to Bullhart. Seidelman knifes that into the corner. Strauss controls it, and he's being pressured by Lepore. Prudek is down low. Ulrich in front of the net. They give it to Lepore. He manages to get it somewhat out, but now he's stuck. Prudek back to Bullhart. Bullhart. Chased by Lepore over to Prudek. He was on the wrong side, so Seidelman had to step in, and Bullhart whips that high and wide. We're a minute into the 5-on-3 portion of this BC power play, sorry. Tristan Perron is going to take this free hit for Quebec. Oliveira somehow manages to come away with the ball with 2, almost 3 Vancouver defenders on him. It takes Shagir stepping in to help Skoda and Gabert to get the ball back for BC. Shagir all the way across for Bennett. About 20 seconds left in the 5-on-3 before it becomes a 5-on-4. Wilkinson is low. He goes to Skoda. Skoda to Shagir. Quebec has collapsed fairly well in front of their own net here. And here comes Pear out of the penalty box to join the penalty kill. Shot is blocked by Godin. Perron tries to get it to pair, but he clears it over the boards, and Vancouver's going to have a free hit with about 13 seconds left. Wilkinson to Shakir on the free hit. Landry grabs that with two hands and fires it down, and Olivier is going to beat Piszczek to the ball. Or rather, both of them are there. And we are 5-on-5. Quebec manages to kill off the rare 5-on-3 power play as Mattis skies that over the net and earns another 3 points for the Buffalo Bills. Bernard behind the net. He puts it over to Mycrest. He's beaten to the ball by Mata, but it goes off his shaft of his stick and ends up in the Quebec bench. Bernard being chased by Krochmal. He gives it to Shadagir, but he loses it to Wilkinson, who gives it back to Bullhart. Over to Mata. Mata to Bullhart. Wilkinson. He gives it to Bullhart. Wilkinson tries to shoot, doesn't have anything on it. And it's gathered up by Landry. Landry gives it to Godin. Godin. Oh, free hit given to Quebec. Quebec needs a change. It took a few flags, but it happened. A boss to take the free hit as the BC 5 are on the floor. Bullhart's called for obstruction. A boss again for the free hit. He's got Perron down low. He gives it over to Frankman, who's being pressured by Seidelman. Frankman loses it. Seidelman's got him, and he's got Strohs. Landry with the save. And he very calmly gives it back to Abaz, who's pressured immediately by Strohs. DuPont now, as the Quebec first line starts to roll out. Rivet, he takes a shot. Perron trying to come around the other side. Stop. DuPont with the save. Oh! Two saves by Roman as he was stopped. DuPont and Rivet on the rebound. Keeping this a one-goal game. Strohs back to Bullhart. Bullhart gathering and collecting. He finds Ulrich, but it's a little too far. Abbas comes up with it. Ulrich. DuPont has it stripped from him by Strohs. Strohs down low to Ulrich. Ulrich out in front to Strohs. Oh, we have a high stick. So we have a free hit for Vancouver, and they're going to get who they want out here. Bullhart to take it. DuPont with the block. The wall stands, and Landry gobbles up the rebound off the back wall. He plays it safe and gives it to Abbas. Abbas finds Kirion to Oliveira to pair. It bounces off his stick, and it had a little too much seat on it. He's watched closely by Gabert and Shagir. He gets it to Lepore. Lepore to Kirion. Kirion into the middle. Pair stopped by Roman. Pair still has it. He finds Kirion. Lepore. He's challenged by Shagir, but he still has it. Tries to go into the middle, but Gabert gets in the way. He finds Pair. That's stopped by Roman. Cleared out by Gabert. Shagir carries it forward. Oh, save as Landry takes that off the noggin. Carrier to Lepore. He's got Olivier on the far side. He just has to control this ball. He puts it into the corner for LaPerriere as he's approached by Skoda. He fires it into the middle. Wilkinson and Carrier in a foot race. And a too many men penalty has been called by referee Mitch Brush. Too many men on Team Quebec. And Daniel Frankman, it looks like, has been selected as the victim. Or Dupont. And Vancouver is once again given a power play. They were unsuccessful on the 5-on-3. Nope, too late. Too late to make a change. Welcome back, Stu.
Sorry, Carl.
That's okay.
When you're
So I don't know if you saw, but not only is Quebec up, but they killed off a 5-on-3 power
I did
play.
see that. I was over getting some treatment by the Team Canada chiropractor, who's also my chiropractor. So trying to get some work in, trying to loosen the back up for all the standing we've been doing up here. But now another Quebec penalty. And so far, so good for Quebec.
Yeah.
0-2 coming into this game against the unbeaten BC team.
I wonder
they're
if
holding their own.
I also wonder too if our referees are working extra hard as they're being watched by the veteran officials from the earlier game between Canada and USA, and Thomas Anderson and Rickard Weissman. Wilkinson down low with it. Vancouver changing up their power play here. Back to the second line. Dizcek over to Mata. Mata down low to Hughes. Hughes to Mata. Mata loses it. Hughes shot gets to the front of the net, but not in the way he wanted. He gives it back to Mata. Mata shot goes wide. Abbas there to make sure Rockmal doesn't have a chance at the side. Wilkinson slows it down for Team BC. Mata. Mata again. Into the middle, saved by Landry. Hughes can't get a stick on it. Neither can Crockmall. Wilkinson's in the corner. Crockmall back to Wilkinson. Wilkinson, watched by Frankman, back to Mata. Mata with the shot, save Landry. Cleared by Abaz, but not completely. It hit Rivet. Wilkinson, shot wide. Crockmall ends up back to Mata.
BC going to get a quick change in here, trying to keep the pressure on.
And the ball goes out. Great save by Thomas Anderson. BC making the full sail here.
14 seconds to go in the power play.
Thank you, Roman. Appreciate you. Over to Prudick. Prudick. Blocked. Prudick tries to shove it into the net. It doesn't work. Carrier comes out with it now. Verhall was watching, made sure Dupont wasn't left alone, and now he's got the ball. He tries to make a long cross pass and ends up hitting Ulrich. Also of note, not dressed for today's game, or this afternoon's game for BC, is number 96, Vizinek. He was hurt in that game against Team Ontario. He's in his street clothes over on the bench, working the iPad, so we'll see if anything comes of that. But it also might be why BC's rhythm is a little off. They don't have their full up front. Carry on into Oliveira, who somehow puts himself into the boards. And we have a Quebec free hit just below us. Lepore to take, gives it to Oliveira. A little bit in his feet though as he's chased by Strohs. Fired over to Carrier. Strohs picks his pocket. Strohs back to Seidelman. Seidelman.
Waited too long and Laporte picked his pocket.
But it's considered a stick infraction. Came over top according to Jay Sani. And so the Fearsome Five get an opportunity. And the free hit's blown as Prudick is picked by Pear. Bullhart has it stolen away from him by Oliveira. Prudick gets the stick in the lane and away from Oliveira. He goes long to Strohs. He gains control with Carrier all over him. Pear picks his pocket though. Quebec playing a much more solid team game than we've seen them in the last two. I think you would agree, Stu.
Well, they just get better, right?
Yeah.
As they go along, they played well against Nova Scotia. losing 5-4, very close game, gave up a goal late in the third period, and then coming out strong here in the first period with 2:50 to go and up 1-0.
It's just unfortunate that this tournament has to be so short. They're making a weekend out of this. Quebec free hit as Gobert puts that into the boards. A whiff shot from Godin. Bennett gets it to Gobert. Wilkinson all alone. He's got Shagir trailing. He sends it behind the net to Shagir, who's watched closely by Wright. Bennett's on the half wall. Wilkinson in front, can't get through. Bennett skies it in and gives the ball back to Team Canada. Caddigill over to Bernard, being almost chased by Krochmal and Hughes. Bizchak gets his stick on that one, and Wilkinson comes away with it. Wilkinson, that shot doesn't go out. Hughes comes away with the rebound off the wall. Back out to Wilkinson. Wilkinson, once again, skies it wide.
Just was a bad pass, and his feet didn't get the full one-timer step into it.
BC has definitely had some opportunities here after that first early Quebec goal, but so far unable to capitalize as Landry's been holding the line on the back end. Rivet challenging Wilkinson. Again, I think that's going to be an interesting matchup. Mata takes over now. Into the middle. Piszczek stops it, but he gives it away. Roman with the save, and Mata controls it. He goes up the far side here, gives it back to Wilkinson in the middle. Wilkinson looking long, gives it away to Dupont. Dupont, 1-2 moves. He's burned both defenders early. Rivet in front. Roman may have made a save, or
I think he got his toe on it just to kick it away.
Or he might have even gotten his toe on Rivet's stick. And we have a free hit for Quebec in the corner here. While we get this quick pause, very big shout out to our camera crews that we've had rotating through here, providing you with more than stationary action. And Sarah Alfheim on the controls here.
Yeah, our technical producer here on site.
When she's not playing floorball, she's making floorball happen. Oh, another free hit. Same spot. If this keeps up, Mitch Brush's footprints are going to be imprinted on that 1X. And with Frank Julien back on the PA, we get the Mario sounds. Oh, saved by Roman. Wouldn't have counted though, as we have a free hit for Team BC in Mitch's favorite spot. Big 5 out for Team BC here. Bullheart looking for Strauss. He gets the friendly bounce off the wall, but can't beat the double team of Abbas and Frankman. Seidelman has it though. He puts it into the feet of Cuignard. Bullheart, last man, gives it over to his defensive partner, Prudick. Oh! And once again, with 31.9 seconds left, Team Quebec takes another penalty. This one,
their fourth of the game,
is Curion.
We hadn't seen that many penalties in the whole tournament leading up to this game.
Yeah, I was going to say, we just doubled our PIMs in one period. I'm going to have to ask the officials if they're trying extra hard because they're being watched by the professionals. Question for Floorball Canada's media team, if you're listening. Do we do interviews of referees? Free hit taken by Team BC. The top 5 stay out there for the last 30 seconds. Prudick down low to Bullheart. Over to Seidelman. Prudick stumbles over his own feet, and Dupont is all in. Seidelman sees Bullheart. Bullheart scores!
I was just about to say, BC was almost looking to make the perfect play instead of just putting the ball on net and possibly getting rebounds. But they're finally able to capitalize, and they're now 1 for 4 on the player advantage.
Seidelman with his second goal of the day. He scored the game-winning goal in this morning's game against your team, Ontario. Once again, Mitch Brush reminding players they have to be a certain distance out from the face-off dot. And we have a DuPont wins by cheating. So Team BC gets the ball. Ballhart gives it forward to Prudick, takes it into the corner. And with 2 seconds left, throws it into the front. And that is our first period. We are tied 1-1, Team BC with the late goal to make it an even match.
One our score after the first period of play here between Team BC and Team Quebec, the final round robin game for each team. BC sitting at 2-0 and guaranteed a spot in Sunday's gold medal game, and Quebec 0-2 looking for their first win and playing well so far if they can stay out of the penalty box, Carl.
Yeah, I think honestly that'll make all the difference too if they can take no more penalties. I don't see, and they play this way, the play that we've been playing, I don't see BC getting another goal. Because it took 4 power plays for them to get there first. Jagir throws that into the far corner, and we might have lost the ball. Oh, no.
But maybe BC scoring that late power play goal gives them some momentum. We talked about it during the Canada-US qualifier game. Momentum is a huge deal in floorball. A big save, a big penalty kill, big goal can really help spring you to a win.
Carry on over to Oliveira. Kieran from Oliveira, back to Oliveira. He's being watched closely by Wilkinson. Bennett challenges Frankman. Skoda gets a turnover from Pear. Abbas turns it away though, and Frankman going far side finds Kirion, and we have a 2-1 Quebec lead.
Great cross crease pass by Franklin, and all alone, Perrier by himself able to get it over top of goaltender Roman. 2-1 Montreal, just 51 seconds into the second period. So much for that momentum for BC.
Yeah, and we're on a lot of early goals as well. This is I would say easily our 10th that's happened in the first 50 or so seconds of a period or a game starting. We've had one almost every game.
Well, you get possession off the face-off, easiest way to get the ball.
Vancouver, BC with the win. His check going long for Hughes, but he misses that. Doesn't matter because Crockmall ends up with it in the far corner, and he's tripped up by Carrier. Advantage has been given. Mata comes up with it. He gives it to Wilkinson. Wilkinson loses the handle. Rivet coming down towards Roman. Shot is blocked by Wilkinson. Rivet challenged by Mata. Dupont to Rivet. Swiped away by Piszczek. Put back in by Carrier. Perron to Laporte. He's challenged by Crockmock. Dupont can't quite get the sweep he wants. So he tries again. Saved by Roman. And the rebound is scored by Laporte. Roman got a piece of it but couldn't control it. And it is now 3-1 for Quebec a mere minute later.
Stephen Laporte, right on the doorstep there, able to bang in the rebound. And as you mentioned, Quebec playing well here. Just trying to get on in the win column.
Yeah. I mean, considering you're going home either way, might as well get one for the win books as Strohs from Ulrich, and that top BC line strikes again.
Goals coming fast and furious here in the second period. Only a minute 44 in, we've already had our third goal. Could be a long period.
I'm enjoying BC's goal song, by the way. Wright loses his stick, and Ulrich with the break because of it. Landry bails him out. Strohs still has it. He goes back to Bullhart as the big five go back to work. Seidelman finds Bullhart in the middle, and he tries to break the scoreboard.
Yeah, just got under that. We've seen a lot of that today where go to one time it, just get underneath the ball and goes 20 feet over the net.
Oh, a turnover by Cadagil. Similar to the one we saw with Tavera on Team USA that resulted in Pavel Barber's fourth goal of the game. Just lost the handle after the move and it went straight to the opposing player. Kiron gives it to Frankman. He puts it up with Pear. He had the move but just lost the handle. Bennett picks it up, puts it far side for Skoda. Skoda loses it to Kirion. He gives it to Oliveira. A big save with the shoulder from Roman. Had to extend his arm just a little bit there to close that gap. He comes back to Abbas. He gives it down to Oliveira, who fires that high and wide. And it was straight out according to referee Mitch Brush. Jay Sani refers to him, and Vancouver, BC will have a free hit out of their own corner. Piszczek bringing it out is picked off by Oliveira. He drops it for Kirion. Back to Oliveira. Challenge behind from Krokmak. He has his pocket picked by Oliveira. Boss throws it back up, trying to find Kirion. Oh, then we have a high stick and a BC free hit. Quickly taken by Piszczek to Hughes. Wilkinson loses the handle. He's all over Kirion though. Kirion bringing it back, wisely taking his opportunity to recollect himself. Abbas to Oliveira. He tries to bank it, but Piszczek gets in the way. Results in a Quebec free hit. Oliveira over to Frankman. He finds, or tries to find Pear.
Yeah, looking for Pear. He's trying to split the D through the middle.
Mata takes it, but that's a stick lift. You can't do that.
BC gets a change. The last time they had a free hit, tried to play it real quick and try to catch Quebec sleeping. But now looking for a setup as they get their new line out there.
This is their big five, though, so I feel like if they have the opportunity to set something up, this would be the group to do it with. Strohs his opportunity. What a save by Landry and close on Prudhomme. This Carrier tries to evade Strohs. Gives it to Laporte, who's monitored by Ulrich. Prudhomme controls the bounce, but gives it away to Perron. Saved by Roman. Rebound goes right to Rivet. Prudhomme earns a free hit for Team BC.
There's BC trying to take advantage of a quick play, but
Mitch Brushbow's the play dead as the boards are in an unsafe
and unusable
position. Bullhart bringing it out slowly. Gives it to Perron. You've been paying attention, they're not on the same team. 3 BC players fight over for it. Ulrich has it. He gives it to Seidelman, back to Strohs. Strohs puts it just a little too far to the left. Landry was there, but probably not in time.
Again, maybe BC trying to be too pretty there. Could have been taking the shot earlier. Try to play it back to Strohs in the slot, and he just shoots it wide as he was on his off wing.
Perron gives it back to Laporte, to Perron. Skoda runs into Rivet. Rivet wanted the call, but no such luck. Skoda gives it to his partner, Gabert. Gabert being watched by both Rivet and Dupont. Wilkinson is picked off by Dupont. Rivet puts it into Skoda's corner again. Skoda picks it up. Fangs out behind the net, waiting for the right opportunity. Bennett takes it, puts it off Shagir's foot. He's able to get it through the legs of Laporte, but not for long. Dupont now has it. He's being watched by Bennett. It's into the body of Roman. He manages to hit Wilkinson with the pass. Godin off the bench almost strips the ball. Wilkinson knocks it backwards. And we have a BC free hit.
.9:53 to go in the second period. Gone a little bit without goals after we saw a couple quick ones, and there was an opportunity.
The way this period started, I thought we were going to be stopping every 30 seconds to tell you who scored. But it's been quiet for the last 4.5 minutes. Godin with it. Lost. Hughes now. Can't control the bouncing ball, and Bernard knocks it over the boards, and it's a BC free hit. Hughes to Wilkinson. Wilkinson drops it for Hughes. Nice little play there. He's got Crockmull in front of the net. And it's a free hit for... Oh, we have a crease violation on Crockmull. Chadigal back to Bernard. Bernard to Oliveira. He's watched by Hughes. He gives it up to Wright, who puts it too far for anybody else. Roman with the pass up the middle to Hughes. He's intercepted by Oliveira, though. We also haven't seen the same amount of accuracy from Roman today, this afternoon, that we saw from him in the first game and last night.
Well, maybe that's because Quebec's had the opportunity to watch him play 2 games.
Yeah.
And I think they're taking away that long pass that he tries to do.
And we start to see the beginnings of the Big Five make their way out onto the floor here. Oliveira goes long. Roman stops it, but that might not have been the best idea. Kirion and Bullhart bumping. And both referees give the free hit to Kirion. Thought Bullhart was being a little too aggressive. Oliveira tries to shoot through a bunch of bodies and ends up going wide. Frankman. Prudick over to Bullhart. He's watched by Oliveira. The long pass is stopped by a boss and then picked off by Strohs. Frankman's gotten back. Seidelman. We had a collision in the back there. Free hits picked off by Pear. He finds Kirion, who can't seem to find Oliveira. Oliveira marked by Ulrich. Kirion, watched by Prudick. Back to Frankman. Abbas with a shot attempt that goes into the corner. Kirion challenging Oliveira challenging Burhart again. He runs into Ulrich before making the pass. Bullhart comes away with it. He's going to slow things down here for Team BC. 7:50 left in the second period.
Quebec backing up and letting BC attack, almost in a defensive strategy, but leading to a turnover here and a rush the other way.
All the way over to Perron, just a little too much into his feet. And Seidelman now the other way. He takes the shot. Bouncing ball off the backboard. Ulrich almost gets it. He's watched by Laporte. Seidelman. one of BC's top point producers. Seidelman again. He puts it down low for Strauss, but Strauss has gone to the front of the net. And he's going to take a incorrect push on Dupont. Free hit for Quebec out of their own corner there. Carrier, watched closely by Wilkinson, almost turns it over, gives it back to Laporte, who fires it over on Godin's side, but he's beaten to it by Bennett. Skoda, watched by Paul Nykrest. Skoda putting some distance between himself and Paul. He gives it to Bennett. And that stays in despite Bennett's best interest. Still ends up getting the whistle. Instructions coming from both benches here as this game has turned into a lot closer than I think maybe BC thought it would be.
I mean, other than that opening game between Ontario and Quebec, every game's been really close.
Really
which
close.
Is great. Shows the competitiveness between all the teams.
You have to wonder, too, if it's simply the fact that Quebec made the drive, whether they came in the night before or not. A lot of the Ontario players didn't have as far to come to get here as all of Quebec would have.
Which could have been a disadvantage that a lot of the Quebec players had to practice in the morning, then had to play in the afternoon.
Yeah.
Whereas a lot of the Ontario players had work on Friday and weren't able to make it to the practice, so they were fresh for that first game.
Skoda comes away with it. He's trying to find Wilkinson, but went the wrong way. Bernard now. He goes down low to Godin, who's watched by Bennett and Mata. And we have a free hit coming to Team Quebec here as a stick infraction. I believe it was by Bennett, number 26. Fun fact I learned from the team, the BC team, earlier today. With the exception, almost everyone on this team and a few extra players is all they play with. So the fact that they're this good of a unit with only probably playing 10 guys aside every night, it's not like Ottawa that you have a selection of players to choose from and to play against.
But with that short a bench, their conditioning is great, so they can just keep running.
But also the fact that the competition, they're so competitive and leading this tournament so far is quite impressive.
But they have participated in some other big tournaments you had mentioned earlier. They played in the Golden Gate Cup down in the U.S., so that gives them some good advantage.
Yeah. Oliveira skies that one over the boards. And it's considered a BC free hit as the Big Five make their way back out onto the floor. Ulrich comes away with it. Landry tips that away. Frankman loses it to Strauss, who finds Seidemann all alone to Ulrich at the side of the net. And we have a tied game as this top BC line once again comes through.
Not a lot Landry could do there. Seidemann with the ball right in front of the net, and he had to protect against the shot. Just a little quick pass leads to a goal on the back door, and 3-3 now with 5:03 to go in this middle period. Former national team teammates, Dupont and Bennett on the face-off there.
Oh, and Rivet rips that wide as Dupont wins.
That would have been a great answer for the Montreal team.
Dupont to the far point. Carrier fires that one over. Skoda going to take the free hit here. He gives it back to Gilbert, who gives it to Chagier. Dupont comes out with it, and he gets the free hit as another stick infraction on Bennett.
Having to make sure that he moved that ball quickly was Carrier. He could have got called for a time violation.
Which we haven't seen yet this weekend from any of the games yet. Oh, another free hit. Dupont taking it, not taking it quickly. I thought he was just going to shoot it. He goes down low to Rivet. Back to Dupont. Dupont, it's loose in front here. Lepore can't get a stick on it though, and Shakir comes away with it. Good defense from Lepore. He gives it back. Reve ends up with it. Shot on net. Comes out to Lepore somehow at the side of the net. Dupont gets tangled up again.
We have a penalty coming.
To Gabert, our first for Team BC.
Can you get called for tripping if you're laying on the ground and the player trips over you?
Apparently the answer to that question, Stu, is yes.
Well, I don't know if that's what it was called for, but that's what the play apparently looked like to me from where we could see. So Quebec to their first power play.
Let's see what they can
BC
do
won
with
for
it.
4.
They haven't had too many power play opportunities this weekend, so we'll see. I just realized that Lepore is wearing one of the original floorball jerseys from Canada with the Floorball Pro logo on the back. A little bit of nostalgia for longtime Canadian floorball fans. Wilkinson on the shorthanded break rips that just wide. Lepore gives it to Perron, who gives it to Reve. He leaves it for Dupont. Tries to get it to Perron. Ends up with Lepore. Lepore tries to put it into the middle of Reve, but Wilkinson's there. This time they go cross to Dupont. He loses his handle on it. Mata is chasing down Frankman very aggressively here as BC completes the rest of their change. Mata thought he came away with it, but more stick than ball. I heard that up here. And for those of you at home, our penalty, or get out of jail free time, is 2:10. So we got about a minute left in this power play for Team Quebec.
So far, Quebec not able to really set anything up where they're getting any good looks. There's a
Strohs takes it away from Oliveira. He's got it still, being chased by Pear. And carry on. It ends up in Pear's feet. He ends up controlling it. Bullhart has it for half a second. Trying to use his body, but it doesn't work in his favor. Prudek comes away with it. Thought he was going to fire it down, but he carries it into the corner. Pear's all over him. Bullhart finally decides to get it out of the zone. Seidelman battling with Abbas, and we have a stick infraction. Oh, Abbas is getting a talking to. Mitch Brush did not like the aggressiveness of that over-the-top stick check.
I thought he was calling for the ball to be pulled back.
Me too, and then I realized he pointed at him. Oh, and off the free hit, BC scores shorthanded. That's our first shorthanded goal of the weekend.
But a great setup with a free hit in that good position. And a little dump pass and a quick shot, and Landry not able to come up with getting goal for Quebec. But they still have 20 seconds left on the power play. If they can win this face-off, get a chance. BC trying to figure out who the penalty killers are going to be.
And we've got about 28 seconds of power play time for Team Quebec here before Gabert makes his way back out onto the floor. Oh. Mitch Brush comes in to make sure sticks are the way they're supposed to be. Wilkinson with the sort of win. In hockey, we call that a scramble. He puts it deep to Laporte. Gathering his options, goes to Carrier. He goes across to Kirion, who has to be careful here. Carrier to Kirion. And the penalty's over as Oliveira gets the shot in on Roman. He has it in his legs. Almost like he was cradling an egg, and we're 5-on-5 here.
Good
with
kill
2
by
minutes to
by
go.
BC, not only not allowing a goal, but going up 4-3 with the shorthanded marker.
Right with it now. Goes through Gabert, but it ends up back at the top of the Quebec point here. Carrier being challenged by two BC players. He gives it to Godin, who has his pocket picked by Bennett. Bennett goes up the far side here, puts it, just a little too far ahead of Shagir. Shagir throws it into Wilkinson, who has the nice tip, but he had nowhere to go, so that just ends up going out of play.
Minute 18 to go.
In the second period.
And then Montreal get a chance to rest and figure out their strategy for the third period. Our last round robin game takes place right after this one. It'll be Nova Scotia against Ontario. The winner will meet BC in the final.
Bernard with it.
If there's a tie, it would go goal differential.
Good opportunity for Ulrich and Strolls there. Just missed the open net. Thank you, Frank. And in classic Frank fashion, we get the bilingual announcement as well, which seems fitting considering Team Quebec is playing Team BC. Mom goal from Prudick. Landry gives it over to Bernard, who has it stripped from him by Strauss, who finds Ulrich. Trying to give it to Seidelman, but that went by him. Right, stops it. Prudick comes up with it, gives it to Strauss. Bouncing ball to Seidelman somehow. Right, once again, loses it to Prudick. Prudick into the middle, just a little too much off his stick. Both Ballhart and Mycrest miss it, and Ballhart's going to let the rest of his line get that substitution in. He tries to go long, and that is the second period. And so, as we come to an end here of our second period, BC has managed to come back and be out on top as we go into the third. 4-3 BC. Can Quebec make the comeback and get their first W of the tournament? And we're back with the third period of BC versus Quebec. BC starts their top five, with Quebec almost line matching with their top three out there on forward. Abbas and Frankman on the back end. Quebec has been running a five-man D core essentially. Dupont to Frankman. He puts it in. Rivet comes up with it. Challenged by Prudick. It goes off Stroh's foot. Seidelman comes away with it with Ulrich. Frankman knocks that out of the air and bails out the rest of his squad. Stroh's now with it. He finds Ulrich. That shot is blocked by Dupont. Ulrich in the corner with it. That ball is kicked away by Frankman. Knocked out by Seidelman over to his defensive player in Prudick, who's managed to find his way to the front of the net again. Ulrich, back by the BC bench, tries to get it through to Prudick. Abbas intercepts that pass though, and Dupont plays it back to Frankman. Frankman leaves it for Dupont.
I think Franklin thought that Dupont wanted to go for a change and he was going to take the ball. Almost miscommunication, but no decent BC players around that would have capitalized.
Pair on the wall here in front of us. And gives it to Abbas. Over to Carry-On. He puts it down low for Godin. He's being challenged by Gabert. There's too many G's in that sentence. Oliveira comes away with it. Beats Wilkinson. Goes wide on Benet. Tries to put it in front, but it's stopped by Bullhart. Bennett loses it. The foot race to Laporte. Laporte back to Godin, who gives it to Pair. He gives it over to Oliveira with too much sauce, and Wilkinson comes up with it. He just can't find Bennett. Pair back to Oliveira. Quebec makes a change. Godin. Down low to Oliveira. He's challenged by Shagir, who comes up with it. His pass in front is intercepted by Laporte. Laporte breaking out now, finds Pair. He's stopped by Shagir. Nope. He was stopped by Shagir, but not correctly. Godin over to Laporte. He's challenged by Skoda. LaPerriere. Godin. Got stopped by Gabert. Gabert clubs that one down, and Landry fires it up to Laporte. He puts it down low to Carry-On.
Good play by Landry to get it up quickly. BC was making a change, trying to catch them there.
Oliveira, shot on net goes wide. Mata being challenged by Wright. He looks for Skoda, who loses it to Carry-On. Gives it back to Mata. He puts it up the boards to Hughes, who manages to get by Laporte. Saved by Landry. Mata. Somehow that doesn't go in. Hughes puts it behind the net to Krochmal.
Hughes was right off the back door there and just couldn't get a handle on the ball as Landry was coming across.
Laporte. Skies that out. Piszczek using his body to try and block out Oliveira. It doesn't work. Oliveira has the ball behind the net now. Challenged again by Piszczek. He loses control of it. Piszczek has it. Oliveira is now going to get the body call. And Wilkinson to take the free hit. Wilkinson to Mata. Mitch Brush also gave Oliveira a little bit of a firm talking to. Ulrich on the far side here. Challenged heavily by Landry, and Strohs just doesn't get enough of it to put it into the wide open net.
Landry had slidden so far out of the net he had to come back, and luckily the ball was played to the far side, or he would have had a goal and had to come back and just grab it with his hand.
Roman comes up with it. Strohs tries to catch Landry napping on the long ball pass from Roman.
Roman would have had an assist there.
We haven't had a successful goalie free hit yet. Prudick. Over to his partner Bullhart. Prudick. He puts it in. Oh, Strohs just can't get a stick on it. He fires that in front. It's intercepted by Wright. He's breaking out with Paul. Paul spins himself around. Challenged by Strohs. Picked up by Frankman. Paul drops it to Perron. He's blocked by, Carriere. He's blocked by Bullhart. And we get a stick infraction on Vancouver.
If Quebec hurries, BC was making a change. They didn't have it set up in the right spot. So BC able to get their change in.
Rivet misses on that, but Frankman comes up with it. Shot blocked by Prudick. Shagir trying to control it down while the rest of the BC defense makes a change. Wilkinson manages to come away with it. Saved by Landry, fully stretched. Used every part of him to make that save. Shagir trying to find Bennett. He does. Bennett's blocked by Abbas and challenged by Paul. Now Abbas is in there with him. Wilkinson comes away with the ball. That's blocked by Frankman. Dupont Picks Wilkinson's pocket. Tries to go by Benet. Bennett comes up with it. Somehow Rivet gets the ball. Rivet puts it into the middle. Frankman falls as he shoots. I don't think he got all of it on that. He goes over to Abbas while BC makes the change. Abbas lets them.
Team Quebec was trying to get Paul off to get their top line out here. And he got stuck.
Godin with the move. And he hits the post. And Roman's able to knock the rebound away because that was going in off his back. Rivet with it. Wilkinson just trying to get rid of it. And he skies that to the far side.
BC just holding on there as Quebec fires one off the post. That would have tied the game at 4. 8:51 to go here in period 3. As you had mentioned earlier, we do not play overtime in the round robin, so a tie will stay a tie.
I'd be interested to see if Quebec pulls their goalie just to get the tie. Walk away with something.
Well, I'm sure if they're just down a goal, but if they're tied, don't necessarily think they'd go for the win. They'd settle for the tie.
That one almost makes it up here to us. In the gallery, off Wilkinson. Or sorry, off the Quebec player. Wilkinson gives it back to Piszczek. He fires it down to Krokmal. Oh. Another dead ball.
Do they ever have a dead ball graveyard where all the balls go to rest after being played with and demolished?
I don't know. I know that I think my favorite Ottawa tournament memory is the stick graveyard you guys had one year. It's like 9 or 10 sticks in the first 2 games. Never seen anything like it at a floorball tournament. Hockey maybe, but to see a bunch of all behind the bleachers, just like someone was like, we're gonna forget about these. The big BC5 are out here trying to see if they can add to their lead. Seidelman was given the lane and he puts it down to Ulrich, who loses it to Godin. And we have a face-off. Face-off won by Godin. Lepore gives it back to him. He gives it to Kirion. He gives it to Oliveira. His shot is deflected. Roman makes the save.
That was a good play for Quebec, right off the face-off in their own end, quickly down the court, and a great scoring chance.
They get a free hit out of it. Oh, save made by Roman. I don't know if he saw that. He just had his foot in the right spot. Starting to see a lot of hand extension from referee Mitch Brush. Hopefully this doesn't get too out of control here. 7:44 left. Don't need to see anything stupid. Wilkinson gets the free hit all the way from Gabert. Oliveira comes up with it. Oh, and Skoda gets a penalty for playing the ball without his stick.
Second time we've seen that this weekend. Saw it earlier today in the Quebec-Nova Scotia game. So a chance here on the power play for Quebec to tie it up, although last time they had a power play, the only goal we scored was by BC shorthanded.
Free hit for Quebec in front of the Secretariat here. .734 is the time of the penalty, meaning the get out of jail free time is 5:34. That is unless, of course, Quebec manages to score one here and put Vancouver or BC out of their misery early. Laporte takes the free hit from Dupont. He goes all the way over to Frankman. Back to Laporte. He goes to Dupont. Laporte. Wilkinson up on him. Frankman. Being challenged by Mata. Laporte down to Dupont. That shot goes off the net.
Good setup by Quebec, though. Laporte down to Dupont on his one-time side.
Mata fires it over to his partner Piszczek, who fires it down, and unfortunately just a little too high and over the boards, and that's going to be a Quebec free hit. Again, right in front of the Secretariat here. Laporte to Dupont. As 4 of the big 5 make their way out onto the floor to help kill this penalty here. Strohs with an aggressive chase of Dupont. Still on him. Perron can't get it. Bolhart tries to kick it. It ends up, oh, what a save by Roman. Frankman was on the back door all alone. That bouncing ball went right to him and he knocked it out of the air. Strohs has it, but he's being challenged by 2 Quebecers. Rivet chases Bolhart, who fires it down towards the Quebec bench. Seidelman retrieves it. He's all alone. He's got 3 Quebec players in front of him. He's being challenged by 2 of them. He puts it into the corner. 6:26, so about 50 seconds left here in this Quebec power play.
BC is lucky not to get another penalty as Bolhart tried to kick that ball, got his foot up a little bit high. I thought they might call it.
Yeah. You are allowed to kick it, but dangerous plays are always penalized, generally speaking.
Both teams getting a change in here.
Both teams do, actually. 30 seconds left on this power play for Quebec. Oliveira to Abbas. Abbas to Godin. Godin back to Abbas. He gives it over to Oliveira one time, blocked by Wilkinson. He ate that one right in the leg. Laporte comes up with it briefly. Stopped by Piszczek. Mata controls it, gives it to Piszczek. Piszczek just taking it up the wall. Gets it to Hughes, who's alone in the Quebec corner.
Just trying to kill some time off of the penalty.
Oh, we thought we had a goal there. Landry makes a save. As Skoda steps out, he's making the full sail all the way over to the bench.
That would have been the second BC shorthanded goal. Quebec may, if that had happened, Quebec may want to think about declining their penalty.
Yeah, is that an option?
It is in football, so why not here?
Piszczek with the pick, but it ends up back in the corner and out off Mata. Perret fires the free hit back to Oliveira. His shot stopped by a Roman. Not sure if he saw it, but he made the save.
Thought I heard a whistle.
Yeah, we have a free hit. Sounded like I'm guessing a stick infraction based on the noise I heard.
So Quebec ball at half.
Bernard with it. 4:56. Quebec needs a goal to get the tie. Carry on. Oh, Wilkinson took a tumble. I'm not sure what happened there.
Yeah, nobody was around him, and he just went down. He's kind of limping as he comes back.
As he's challenged by Skoda. He works his behind. Ends up with Carrier, not for long. Bennett puts it ahead to Wilkinson. He's all alone. Puts it into Landry twice. Landry goes over to Carrion, who flips it by Shagir. Just to turn back. Now being challenged by Krochmal. Over to Frankman. Into the middle, but not quite. Ulrich comes away with it. He fired, intercepted by Wright, who's being chased by Strohs. He finds Paul. Paul off of Bolhart, and we're going to get a Quebec free hit here. Frankman. Oh, intercepted by Ulrich. He pokes it ahead for Strohs. Wright manages to get that stopped. And Strohs almost has an empty net again. Frankman. Oh!
Frankman hard over the boards, onto the table, and into the brick wall.
Free hit for Quebec.
But he seems to be no worse for wear there.
He's asking for a penalty. Mitch Brush is explaining why it's not one. Note for Patrick Mahoney, next year we need to get some of these people mic'd up. Right, takes the
or
pass.
Get padding on the brick wall, apparently.
Yeah, let's start there. Bolhart behind the net to his partner Prudek. As we see the big 5 out once again. Bolhart. Tries to give it to Prudek, it doesn't work. Seidelman with some fancy footwork to get the ball where he wants it. He finds Ulrich in the middle. He goes far side to Strauss, who on the turn out of the air puts it by Landry. I think Landry was looking for it to go through to Prudek, but it ends up on Strauss' stick. And we have a 5-3 game with 3:15.
Might be the insurance goal that BC needs here. Could be tough for Quebec to rally down 2. They may want to save something in the tank for the bronze medal game coming up later tonight at 7:30 against the loser of the Ontario-Nova Scotia game.
Rivet to take the free hit for Quebec. He's trying to find Perron, but he puts it behind him. He goes backwards with it. In the middle towards the palm, but there's a bunch of green sweaters there. Piszczek comes up with it. His shot is blocked by Perron. Krochmal tries to find Piszczek, but he ends up finding Godin. Godin takes it behind, gives it to Laporte. He finds Dupont. Dupont watched by Wilkinson. Wilkinson's forecheck has been incredibly detrimental to Team Quebec here. That long ball doesn't get Rivet. It gets Roman. He goes to Piszczek on his right, who goes up the long wall here to Krochmal. He tries to put it in front, but he finds Dupont's stick instead. Dupont gives it to Godin, who gives it to Rivet, who gives it to Laporte. Tries to give it back to Rivet, ends up hitting Skoda. And now Hughes with it, and he's got Bennett with him. Bennett challenged by Godin, and that ends up in the crowd that's assembling behind the Quebec net.
That last rush for Quebec, I don't know if Laporte saw, but he had Bonnet-Perron coming late, right up the middle. Instead of trying to go through, if he had gone there, he had a nice shot opportunity.
Laporte tries to spring Olivier and almost puts the ball in the back of his net on the rebound there. Godin gives it to Kirion. Bounces it off the boards, but it ends up on Bennett's stick, not Pear's. Shagir now has it for BC. He makes a move. He throws it into the middle to Wilkinson. Wilkinson tries to go backwards towards Shagir. It hits Laporte's foot. Carry-on stopped by Gabert. Both referees catch the stick infraction and a Quebec free hit. Carry-on to take it. The Big Five make their way out here for BC with 1:30 left. I don't know if we're gonna see anybody else on the floor for them. Oliveira getting things the way he wants. Goes for the long pass, stopped by Prudek. Ballhart going for a run here. Very unusual for him. He's been a stalwart defenseman. Oh, what a save by Landry as he stops Strauss. Seidelman covering for Bullhart, puts it into the corner. Strauss comes out with it. Landry uses his arm to deflect that away. Ulrich has Kirion on him. Manages to evade that attacker. His pass originally blocked by Olivier, and now he finds Seidelman, who takes his time, is blocked by Bernard. Bernard on the bouncing ball. Gets it up the middle. Pear comes away with it briefly. Seidelman trips him. Strauss down low to Prudek. His shot is blocked by Bernard.
We didn't get the Mario music, but we're under a minute to go here. 36 seconds left.
That's because Frank is suiting up.
Getting ready for his game. Doesn't look like Quebec is prepared to take out their goaltender, especially with BC having the ball here in the free hit in the corner.
Krochmal gives it back to Hughes off the free hit. Krochmal in front. Oh, Oliveira comes back and picks that off. He's being chased by Skoda here. He fires it across the Kirion into the middle of the pair, and it's in his legs, and he can't bury it. He was all alone in front of Roman, but had it lost in his feet. Skoda controls it, drops it back for Gobert. Stopped by Abbas. Dupont throws it in the middle, and we have an empty net. I guess we were wrong, Stu.
I didn't even see Landry go.
Yeah, that was quick. And that is all she wrote as Team BC completes the 3-0 cycle and goes undefeated in this weekend's tournament.
And they'll head to the final tomorrow, 10:30 start. And Quebec will be in action later today at 7:30 in the bronze medal game. Ontario playing Nova Scotia next, and that'll be determine who the opponents are. A good effort by the Quebec team. Another close game for them. Just not able to pull out the victory, but looking stronger as the tournament goes on.
I guess that just means they're due, right? So who knows? Maybe the bronze game is already in the bag. And we go down to the Secretariat for the MVPs.
MVP for Team Quebec was Alex Dumont.
I thought he already won it.
MVP for Team BC, Bullard.
Okay, man.